Yeah, today is interesting. I couldn't get my laptop to do right. It's locked. Rotate device back. Just like I'm not able to get this to do right, so I think that's what I need to do. Okay, today we had some technical difficulties. Let's just say that. So we are here. We're gonna be here irregardless. Irregardless. So yes, yes, yes. Hopefully the streams will show up. Okay, okay. Let's see. Let's see. Let me know if you see the disc fine. I'm gonna see. I was trying to cancel the other stream, but let me get my chat up. Yeah, we have technical difficulties. Everything is happening. It's Monday. I'm not gonna worry about it. But I'm here. We're gonna slap some paint on some paper. Gonna have some fun. My laptop won't act right. So we won't worry about it. Not at all. Okay, there we go. Okay, okay, okay. I see the desk. It's sideways. Yeah, see, that's the thing. So I didn't want it to be sideways. I kind of wanted it to be, but once you start the live, you can't change it to go that way. So, but you know what? I feel like I'm going to need to, but I don't know. I don't want to. So we're going to leave it this way. I'm going to leave it this way because why not? It's technical day. So let's just let it go. Because I didn't want it to be sideways. And okay. Okay. You'll get to see what's up there, what's down here. You'll be all right. Let's let the internet catch up. That's what I'm going to do. Let the internet catch up so I can see how the lighting is. But it's okay. Everything I'm going to do is pretty much, we can make it. I'll make sure it's right here. That's what I'm going to do. But later on, that's going to drive me crazy. All right, let me put my glasses on so I can read my comments. We got comments over on my laptop. Hopefully. But this is how it looks when I do it on my phone and I don't have my Ecamm. And Ecamm either was, I don't know what it was doing, but it wouldn't get on my phone, which I normally do. So, okay. Hi, Dawn. Hi, McCoy Roddies. And anybody else that's here that is not said hello. Well, we got Switch User. Hey, your channel is amazing. My grandma. Oh, I am so sorry to hear that, Switch User. NXSIV. Hello, hello, hello. Listen, this is normally not the way we do these things, but this is how I get to show you how I tread on even when life continues to happen. So today you don't get FaceTime because I'm definitely not finna try to figure out how to turn this camera. I'm quite sure, but we don't make nobody dizzy. So you get a little hot hand jive. Thank goodness for no paint on the hands and put some lotion on. Okay, so right here, this is what I have. I have my new watercolors -1, minus, listen, I wrote it down. Jaune, which is yellow in French, for the #1 of the new Daniel Smith colors. Yes, we do pivot and adapt, don't we, Dawn? Goodness gracious. But listen, that's how life is. Like, whew, as I have to take a deep breath, that's just how life is. Yesterday was Sunday at the time of this recording, and I was having a not a funky day, not a bad day. I wasn't in the studio at all yesterday. Um, but I realized that it'll be 6 years this year since my son has been, deceased. And I just felt the type of way because I was just like, wait a minute, God, has it been that long? And then my head was hurting. So I wasn't sure of whether it was grief that was making my head hurt, which in turn was me making my head hurt, or was it the fact that I realized that it's been so long. And so I had to give myself permission to feel broken in the moment. And then after I did that, I took a nap, and then I went and got my new watercolors, these two, and I painted. And let me show you real quick. Where are they? I brought them. So y'all know I try to handle my grief by handling my grief. But sometimes when my grief wants to handle me, I give in. So yesterday I gave in, and then I was just like, okay, well, let's get up and let's create something beautiful. Let's have a conversation. Because losing my son and my daughter created a wound that it goes so deep. It's never a time to where I feel like I'm going to be 100%. So I just function on what I could. I allow myself to be broken in the moment and find ways where, like today, I pivot. So this is what I did yesterday after I did the pivot. Like after I really, really, really honed in on the fact that I was feeling vulnerable in my grief. And so then I came on over, and what I'm talking about today is how I use my art to heal. So this was after I gave myself permission to feel broken and not necessarily feel sad, but just to rest in the fact that I just wasn't 100%. I did those, slapped some paint on some paper with these. I have daffodils. Is that daffodils? I think it is. Daffodils, yeah. That's in my yard. And so I was trying to do a quick little way of getting that stamen to really pop out, because that's the most beautiful part of the flower, right? I gotta remember it's this way, so keep it straight up this way. I'm so used to turning stuff the other way. And this is the end. It turned out very, very, very beautiful. And I felt better. I did go to bed early, but I did lay down afterwards, but I did feel better. Yellow is my color. Yellow makes me feel a whole lot better. And y'all know I like to tell you to let your feelings feel. Sometimes that's what we need, to just sit with. Yes, Dawn, you know it. Like, we need to do it. So allow yourself to feel broken. Allow yourself to feel whatever you're feeling, to breathe, whatever in the moment that you need to do. Give yourself permission, because when you understand why you feel the way you feel, and once you really get on that bandwagon, or I'm feeling like crap because my heart is hurting because X, Y, and Z happened, or because I lost X, Y, and Z, or I lost this person, lost that person. And so remember, I told y'all this whole series, I've been really transparent because it's being vulnerable allows me to live and be my authentic self. And when I get to show up and tell you guys that I'm having a crappy day, or I'm having a day like today where I'm having to pivot, but I still show up, it really does make me feel better. Now, today I had to get up and go do some things. It was raining. I'm going to go in and fill these up while I talk. It was raining. So these are the new Daniel Smith extra fine colors that I got in my Happy Mail today, Mr. McCoy. And did. Sure did. But I needed to go to the grocery store, pick up some things, and was trying to go pick up my medicine, but I wasn't driving a whole nother 30 minutes ooh, that's yummy. If the pharmacy didn't have it ready, that would have really added to my irritation today. So vulnerability and grief to me, and this is Karenology, and please feel free to share in the chat how you feel. after a tragedy, after grief, but for me, I don't need another thing to add to it. Oh, Lord, I didn't put the names on here before I did them. So, oh, well, we messed up on that one, so we'll keep it moving. But the one thing I can say that I've learned in my art, how I heal through my art, is even when I'm not feeling great, I get to tell myself, you're going to feel better after this, or you're going to feel better tomorrow, or you're going to feel better. I try to give myself an understanding of I'm going to feel better, right? And does it always work? Nope. Majority of the time it does, because I'm honest with myself about my emotions, especially when I'm feeling crappy. When I'm feeling crappy, and when I mean really, really crappy. Really crappy. But what I have learned is the more the pain is in my heart, oh, that's pretty. The more the pain is in my art is just so vibrant. Like when I come in the studio and try to do something or try to create, when I'm in my 100%, oh, I'm feeling good, I'm feeling myself, whatever, I don't think it comes out as beautiful to me. And that's just my opinion. That was coral reef. Y'all, that's so yummy. I can't wait to slap these down. I am going to do them dry, but I'm also pouring them so that they can harden, because I have learned with these granulating paints, they do better when they get to, ooh, that one's coming out fast too. Oh, shoot. See how I keep forgetting squirrel? But I want to encourage everybody. I did some journal prompts, and I'm going to give them at the end. I think it's 7 of them that I did yesterday morning. I did about 3, 4 of them yesterday morning. And then the other, I think 2 or 3 came in the evening before I got in the bed. And I just really allowed myself to feel, right? I just really, really, really did. Just came in and just like, hey, feel like crap. And have a conversation with myself. This is Earthy Light Red. Earthy Light Red. Interesting color. I was going to have these done before the live, but after I started having technical difficulties, I was like, it's either fix the camera, fix something so you can go live, or do this on the live. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, choose your poison for the day. And today it's been easy. Like, I've just been choosing easy. Listen, I went in Publix. I did all of my grocery shopping. It was definitely a good day for buy one, get one free for me today. And as I was leaving out of the grocery store, the guy, he bagged my stuff, right? And I didn't pay attention to the fact that he put my blueberries on top of my strawberries, and then that sat on top of on top of that. But when I hit a bump, and then I kept, I didn't pay attention that they fell. And then when I was going out, I looked, I was like, where these come? I was like, good gracious alive. So my blueberries fell all on the ground. I could have got in a tizzy, y'all. I could have just went slap off and just like, what in the world did you do? And yada, 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 yada. But you know what? It wasn't worth. And it was raining, mind you. So I just picked it up off the ground, went back in the store, went over to the customer service and told the gentleman, he's like, oh, no problem. You know what? You can go get you 2 more just for that. Like, it wasn't his fault. It wasn't my fault. It was a young man who packed but I got blessed with 2 instead of 1. So I was just like, see, I could have went off. But that's the thing I've learned on my grief journey. When I'm not sure of why I'm feeling away, I usually stay home and just be in the studio. But like I said, I needed some substance, and I had to go out in the world. And after I got my blackberries, I got in the car and I just told God, thank you. Thank you for showing me how to show up and be good and not be bad. Because it could have been funky. Really, it could have been funky. Could have. could have. This is manganese violet. That is yummy. So these three colors, it's really 6. So one of them was on back order, but I got a thing yesterday saying it's on its way. And it is, again, it's the Jaune Brilliant number 1. This is number 2. And I'm just like loving it. Loving it, loving it, loving it. Okay, so we're going to keep these up here. Got that. And then, of course, greens. I love my greens. So Cobalt Green Deep. Oh, and the sun just decided to pop out for me. Another sign that God just reminds me, I'm going to have the comforter show up for you today because you seem to be in a bad mood or you seem to be feeling a little low or whatever. I saw red birds, bluebirds. Those are really signs for me is that you're okay. Okay, what does that say? Cobalt Green Deep. Oh, can we get deep on here? Let's see. Tomorrow is the Wine and Cheese event here in my hometown. I'm excited about that. I have a piece of art that's up for auction. I'm really, really excited about that because I've come out of hiding. And this is another thing, come out of your fears. If you looked at Fridays, I will put Fridays live, no, last Wednesday's live in the description box below, but I was talking about fears. If there's a fear, you have a fear, try to let it go. Define what that fear is and give yourself permission to go and do it anyway, fear or not. All right, we're going to put these. Here are the rest of the Daniel Smith. Yummy. Oh, you know what? I'm not going to put them in here because I need to move these around so that I could possibly put these in the color scheme of where they go. Or I might just leave them right down here. So for the time being, I get to highlight those 6 colors. So yeah, that's what we do. We won't even put them in there. So let's get my tray, my cute little girly tray that I got from Illustrated Faith. And we're going to sit these on here. All right, we know what that one is. So tell me. What do you do when you have a not so pleasant day? I won't call it a funky day. That's what it was for me this yesterday and today. It just felt real. Funky is the closest word I can define because it wasn't so great. It wasn't so bad. The UPS man is pulling up with some more Happy Mail. I see him out my window. Too bad I don't have what that is because I believe that's other watercolors. That's just it. And I'm done spending my happy birthday money, so it's all good. But so tell me real quick. Dawn said we pivot and we adapt, which I agree 100%. We have to pivot. And what I did today, that's why I am the way I am, is we had to pivot. Now, let me know. I'm quite sure this live stream is good. But let me know in the chat how this live stream is showing up for you. Is it good? Because if it's good, I might have to just, going forward on Mondays and Wednesdays, I might just do the phone. And I'll figure out, I'll do because this way is what, horizontal? No, landscape. Whatever, horizontal, vertical. We want vertical. So I have to remember to save it when I'm actually scheduling the live. That's where I messed up. And I still wanted it to have vulnerability and grief because that's what I was going to be talking about today and how I use my art as I shared my new colors. Now, I am going to take these and we're going to let those sit right here. Oh, you know what? They can sit there because you can see them. Since you have that side. It's vertical, but it looks fine. Okay, so vertical, we want it horizontal, right, Dawn? We want it to be this way. So I have to save it in horizontal. That's where I'll be forgetting. Horizontal. But we pivot and we move on. We adapt to whatever the situation is and we move on. And we trust, I have a lot of trust in God. And I trust that in his love and his infinite wisdom, that whenever I show up, I am going to show up in either the good, the bad, but I want to be honest and transparent with you guys and let you know that some days I don't have it. I'm not always there. Um, and today was one of those, no, yesterday was one of those days. Today was the remnants of one of those days. But again, God showed me with the gentleman in the store. And then I just rode home, got me a little lunch and rode on home and stayed on hold. See, this is how the enemy tries to mess up your day, guys. Let me get some coffee. Because I got in my mood and I was doing better, right? Let's wet. Look, let's move my coffee over here so I don't put my brush in my coffee. As I got better and got in the car and, recovered from dropping my blackberries and, was on my way. Where is my pan? Hold on, I don't want to put it right on there. Oh, goodness. All of them dirty? Well, I'll let you know I need to do some cleaning, some spring cleaning of my palettes. Dawn, I went to the thrift store Friday and I was looking for some porcelain plates. I didn't see no porcelain plates, but the end of this live, I'm going to show you two cute little things I got that you are going to love. You say, whatever orientation, we will hear your message. Amen. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. So let's dive in here. But so as I was saying, I was on the phone because I'm trying to get my medicine that, remember, I went to the doctor last Wednesday. And so I'm trying to get that prescription filled, which it's almost a week later. And it still wasn't. I need a little bit more. It still wasn't done. So, oh yeah, that looks better. I got on the phone on hold and it said there are 3 people ahead of you. And I was just like, okay, I'll wait. It was going to take me about 30 minutes to get home anyway. I was like, okay, I can drive home and listen to the music and all the things, right? Well, that's yummy. And so that's what I was doing. I've been on hold for 15 minutes, guys. 15 minutes. I was the next person in line. Next person in line. No, 2 people. So it was somebody's on, it said you're 2 people ahead of me or whatever. And then all of a sudden, the phone, you could hear the person pick up the phone and hung it up. Do you know I was one hot sister? Because it hung up my call. I had been on the phone already. That's a lot. See, this is why stuff gets stuck on my plate. I was so hot. And then when I called back to just like, okay, let's get back on it because I wasn't going to drive to town. And then it says there are 4 people ahead of you. I was like, nope, not doing it. I just hung the phone up. And then I put on a nice song because again, I just felt like it was a test from God to really test me in how I was doing on my grief journey and recovering from such a bad day yesterday. And I was just like, okay, God, we're just not going to worry. We're going to have this drive home. And I'll try to call back later. So I said I'll call back after lunch. And then I forgot they have lunch. So I said, okay, well, I'll call back after my live. But when you have to pivot, and I mean, when I tell you sometimes you have to pivot real fast, because if you don't, you'll end up being in a funk longer than you want. Grief, it just really sneaks up on you. That's yummy. There it is. Those are so pretty. Oh, I don't even want to take my brush. Let's put it over there. Oh, that's pretty. So that's where we are today. So broken and beautiful. It's a reflection of yesterday I was broken. Today I'm just still journeying through the brokenness, but it's not as bad as it could have been. And I'm speaking from experience of I've seen it happen to me before. I'll wake up and I'll be in a funky mood. I'll have thoughts of my son and thoughts of my daughter and, people that I've lost. I even had thoughts of my dad. And my dad has been gone 25 years now. And I was just like, oh my God, grief still slaps you like that? And it does. So I'm here to tell you, don't think that don't let people tell you that there's a time limit on when the grief is going to be over. 25 years since my dad has been gone. 25 years. And for me to think about him the other day as I was walking and then really got in a sad place, I was just like, God, really? But at the same time, the wind started blowing. The blossoms of the spring flowers started, really swaying in front of me. And it was, to me, that was God's way of saying, but I got you. So I had the thought process real quick, and then it was just like, okay. So I know from history, God's got me. And I want you to know that, God's got you. And in the moment, trust me, it hurts. Don't let me tell you it don't, because it do. These are fun. We're gonna it seems like I'm gonna be done put enough on my thing for what I'm gonna slap some paint on. Oh, that you went to the store. Oh, and Dawn, I'm going to do a video one day of the thrift store that I do go to. It's not called a thrift store. It's called a mercantile. So here in my little country town where I do not have a red light, that's how country we are around here. We do not have a red light. We have a yellow light, but we do not have a red light. Nope, sure don't. And it's called a mercantile, and you go in there, and she's like, oh, I haven't seen you in a while. I was like, well, you're not always open. And then we had this conversation, that conversation, but it was fun. It was fun. Then I went to go to the post office and forgot it closes at 12 on Friday, right? I'm just like, oh, Lord. So some of the things I miss. And I could have went to Eufaula or Troy and delivered the packages, but I didn't. Oh, no, that was Thursday. Friday, I went to Atlanta to pick up my aunt from the airport. That's where it was, Friday. And to deliver Theo/Brock back to his owners. And then this Saturday, Mr. McCoy will be taking Alvin to Kentucky to meet his new owners. And that leaves us with one puppy that still needs to be rehomed. Oh, look, there's Sarah. I just got this saying, talking about my aunt. That's Sarah's mom that I had to pick up from the airport on Friday. And we hung out on Friday. Up, put that over there. Had us a good old time. And then we got in the car and headed on back. So that's usually what we do when I pick her up from the airport. Because it's 2 hours away from where so from my house and where I dropped her off to my grandma's, it's like 2 hours. We ran into some traffic, which kind of makes it a little longer, but that's okay. Now this Cobalt what it is, Cobalt Green Deep. Now Talia did a, can I remember what she had? Oh my God, I think she had a deep sap green. And it was so yummy. Now looking at hers and now looking at this Cobalt Deep, this is good. Dawn, you see I got my little paint tubes. This is exactly, well, these are the ones that the young lady that on that video she sent. And so, but the ones I have I could take they are a stamp. And I can take the tube, either the tubes on or tubes off. But look at that. Isn't that yummy? Oh, those are pretty. All right, those are pretty. So let's set that right there because those are in order. And let's clean this. I'm loving this paper. It's cleaning my brushes good where I don't have to put all my... All right, put these over here to the side. Okay, so as I take a deep breath, because my little heart was just twinkling a little bit. Okay. Now, I had some, where did my little paper go? Okay, there we go. So 7 tips to create joy. These are, I'm going to call them a replay because they were great last year. I want to say it was in 23, not even 24. But these are the 7 tips that I came up with for myself that I use to create joy on my grief journey. When life just seems to slap the hell out of me and doesn't show up, doesn't make me want to show up great. Now let's see, we have 5 colors. I think we can do, I don't want to put that over there. My coffee's over there. Maybe I'll move my coffee further over. But, excuse me. I'm not going, let's see, can I? Let's see, yeah. Don't let grief intimidate you. That's the main one. So usually on my grief journey, when I decide to want to paint, or now I'm deciding for all of the things that I want to do, right? Got to move this so I make sure that everything is into, oh, you know what? Since we have this, well, we get to do it this way. All right, and I'm going to use, so we're going to do purple flowers. Green is going to be that. That's going to be that. You know what? I'm not going to even worry about it. We're just going to slap some paint down. We're going to change the size of our brush. I'm using a number 10 Princeton Velvet Touch. Whenever me and Talia, whenever I go back to Blick, I'm going to have to get me a number 12. That's the next one I want to add, because the number 12 here and the number 12 here, when they get old, I'm going to say this, when they get old and I've used them, because I believe somebody has some new brushes that comes out and somebody says they got enough brushes. And I said, you never have enough brushes, especially when you're a watercolorist like me and you want to put that water on that brush and you want that tip to still pop in and you don't want the frills. That's what I be wanting. So right now, my Emma Lefebvre water brushes, I've had them for 2 years. And they're just starting to get a little frayed. And this Velvet Touch I got last year, you see the difference. It's a personal thing. But then when you look at this one, oh, that puppy is pointed, tippy. It's just the things that make me happy. Which is, don't let grief intimidate you. That's what I say. Don't let grief intimidate you, and don't let grief have its way all the time. Give yourself permission. I usually give myself, let's see, we're going to do roses. I don't know. Let's just slap it down. Let's see where it takes us. That's what we're going to do. I just usually tell grief, y'all, I talk to my grief, which is kind of like talking to myself, and say, well, you know what? Today we're not feeling it. We're having a little funk. We're in a little funky mood. So this is what we're going to do today. Hi, Bernadette. Happy Monday. This is what we're going to do today, grief. I'm going to give you about 10 minutes. And sometimes I have to cry. But lately I've been angry. So sometimes I have to tell grief, you know, how I really want it to get on. And sometimes I'm doing this while I'm painting. And sometimes I'm not painting. Sometimes I'm writing in my journal, because that's the best way for me to really express my emotions. And then I get to go back and see what I had to say to myself. You know, and myself, y'all know Brown, you know, Brown, what's his name? David Mann. He'd be like, I'd be like self, and self say, talk to yourself. It's okay. I remember back in the day, they say, you know, you don't talk to yourself. Crazy people talk to themselves. Well, grief sometimes makes me feel crazy. So I have to tell grief, we got stuff to do today. And we don't have time to be sitting around here crying all day. And then if I feel it, like when I say it to myself, if I really feel it, because sometimes it'd be like, yeah, okay. Sometimes grief wins. And I have to concede and say grief is winning today. But that doesn't mean that you're weak. That doesn't mean that it's a bad thing. It just means that maybe today is a day that maybe you need to sit down and not worry, not stress yourself, right? It's broken and beautiful. Grief is broken and beautiful at the same time. And we're healing. And we have to practice how to show up great, even when we don't want to show up. We have to embrace our uniqueness through the grief, right? I'm telling y'all what I do. And this is my grief, just happened to be from the loss of not one but two children. I've lost my dad, my uncle, and my aunt, who were like mother and father, my granddaughter. And, so I've lost some people who, when I think about them, sometimes it makes my heart hurt. Sometimes it gives me joy. And so the times when it does give me joy, I give myself permission to be beautiful and be broken, right? What would it feel like if you gave yourself permission to be both broken and beautiful in the same season? Because healing, like I had to learn for me, healing really, really shows up when you admit to yourself that you're just having one of them kind of days. And then when you really get to show up and just give yourself permission to be whatever it is you want to be. Whatever it is, right? You can coexist with brokenness and beauty. You can coexist. It can. Grief and heartache can. Anger and happiness can. We can. You can coexist. Trust me. I've done it. I'm doing it. I continue to do it. I redefine what strength is. I redefine what wholeness is for me. And then I practice self-care, self-compassion, and I move on. And so this is why I believe, truthfully, God continues to give me the strength to show up in my authentic, vulnerable self so that I can continue to talk to other people about how to do the same thing, right? And trust me, it's not always what you want. Truthfully, it isn't. I'm here to tell you it ain't. I am. Okay. I want that to kind of dry a little bit, but this is the Manganese Violet in the new Daniel Smith watercolors. So while that's kind of drying up a little bit, y'all check this out. Look at this. Alvin is going to his new home in Chicago. Chicago is going to be his final destination, but William is going to take him to meet his new owners in Kentucky Saturday. Look at this. These are gouache. I have not opened these since I've moved here from Colorado. And me and Bridget and I were talking about this set that I just had to have, and I love it. So now I'm going to have to see what's the best way to wake them back up. I could wait and use them as I use them, but there's a way. I can't remember if it was put water in them or put some kind of something in them. I gotta go back to my notes on the gouache and figure out what it was. But I did do a little bit of, I wet something and pulled it out. So it still works, but it just doesn't look so yummy. But they still work. And gouache is my other medium that I love. Love, 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 love. Okay. It's gouache. Yeah, that's gouache. And it's the, let me show you, the brand was, this was the brand. Yep. And so we all had to have them. And once I got them, I did a whole lot of painting. As a matter of fact, I did a commission piece with that gouache set right there. I think I have the same set of gouache. Listen, if you do, let me know. Like, did yours go to sleep like that? I'm just going to say it went to sleep. Okay, I need to give my commercial for Replay, Team Replay, because Team Replay does show up for us, and I am grateful for Team Replay. And for those who are not Team Replay, if you would like to join us here on Slapping Paint on Paper as I walk through my grief journey, being more transparent, and we have Life on the Ranch. There's a multifaceted me that I do for to get through my grief journey. That's what I'm going to say. Hit that subscribe button, like and share, like or share this live or anything that you find on my channel. Hit that bell notification so that you'll be notified. Like today, today's live had to be reaverted. It's like a, what do you call it? A plane that was going to Cozumel, and it had to be rerouted from Denver to Miami. We still showed up though. That's how I'm gonna put it. So yeah, subscribe to my channel. We're trying to grow, and I'm grateful for the growth, and I'm grateful for everyone that does join me on Mondays and Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. And so far, we've been live. I've only had to record 1 or 2, I think, but I'm grateful. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for showing up. And Team Replay, when you do show up, that lets me know that at the end of the day, God is right and I'm wrong. Because I always say, well, God, what if I do this and nobody shows up? And then God reminds me, he lets people show up. And then all I do is be like, okay, it's your show, not mine. And I'm grateful. So I like to share my grief journey. And now I want everybody else to really understand being vulnerable means you get to be transparent and you get to live an authentic you, right? You don't have to lie to yourself, because remember, this is all about yourself. This isn't about anybody else. Take care of yourself first. And then when you take care of you, then you can show up for other people. And for me, on my grief journey, I love to help mothers who have lost children to death. It helps me heal, but I've found out that I really love to help people just become the true version of themselves. And most people sometimes ask the question, well, what is that? And I'll be like, I don't know. You have to ask yourself that question. I can only give you a roadmap of what I've done. And that's usually how it is. Okay? All right. That is pretty. That one is the coral reef. I'm going to have fun with that one. That's coral reef. And I feel like since I put all those down there, I need to come back with the purple. Not sure. So let me say, or mine is not Hemi. Mine came in the same packaging, but from Five Below. Oh, I'm interested now. Is it, oh, it's not Hemi. Okay. What is the, I'm interested what that, I don't think I've seen gouache at Five Below, but usually when I go to Five Below, I go looking at paper, get the paper and get out. I try not to get trapped in the Five Below trap, because it could be a trap for me. It really could. So, okay, so I said in the beginning that I was going to give you joyful healing tips that I have used in my journey, that I put down yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. And then I realized that sometimes they come back. They come around because, y'all know, there's really nothing new under the sun. And on my grief journey, I really believe that I started grieving. I continued, or really, no, I'm not going to say continue. I'm going to say my daughter had been gone. My daughter and my granddaughter had been gone 12 years when my son was murdered. And because I refused to fall in the rut that I did when they died, it took me, I really want to say, about 3-4 years to come back to myself, to where I felt normal. And I had to realize when my son was murdered that I needed to be more vulnerable. So I didn't want to be closed off. I didn't want to be in a place where people were trying to figure out what was wrong with me. So I tried to do it I did do it a little different, not tried to. And so what I did was I wrote my book sooner than later, because after my daughter, it took me a longer to write the book. After my son, I did it within the year of his passing, which really helped me embrace being vulnerable, because I got to share how I was feeling. And so that made me come up with the question for you. What is one emotion that you have been hesitant to share with others? Why? And what would it feel like to release it? That was what the book, the second time, it helped me release. And so that was like embracing my vulnerability. So, and then the second was when I had to redefine my strength, because everybody would say, oh my God, Karen, you're so strong. You're so strong. But they were seeing the woman who stood up at the funeral and didn't cry. They were seeing the woman who stood by the casket and greeted all of the people and didn't, well, I did pass out, but for a moment, I've never felt the strength, right? So I had to redefine my strength. So I had to ask myself, how do you redefine strength for yourself? So ask yourself that. What does strength look like for you? And most people were defining it for me because they were defining it based on me standing up or being still transparent or being there, like, even after such a tragedy. All right. And so for me, that's what it was. So I had to figure out what that was for me. And so ask yourself, what does that look like for you? Why do you consider, how do you consider yourself to be strong? Do you consider yourself to be strong? Because some people don't. Some people feel like they're weak. And for a long time, I felt like I was weak in the place of where I saw myself, right? So the next one, number 3, is practice self-compassion. What are 3 kinds of things that you can say to yourself today? Y'all know I always tell y'all at the end of my lives is to show up for yourself first and foremost, because why? You can't pour from empty cups. You're trying to give from a place where you can't. So what does that look like for you? 3 things. It's always threes for me. So how can you show up for yourself today, right? Yesterday when I was feeling funky, feeling low or whatever, I just let myself go to sleep. I let myself take a nap, right? And then when I woke up, then I said, okay, let's try to, slap some paint on some paper and create some joy. So that's what I did. Number 4, share. I did this one based on book number 2. Was I shared my story. I shared how I was feeling. I shared how I was feeling right after my son's death. I shared how it made me feel. And therefore, when it came time for me to stand on stages and speak, I wasn't trying to find my words, because the book was what I pretty much was speaking from. So, and being that it had already been published, I was already sharing in a safe space. Nor did I feel like I had anything to hide at that point, because if you know me, you know my son's death was very, very, very public. It was at the point to where I just wanted to cuss everybody out, go crawl up under the bed and wake up in like 10 years and like this was a dream or something. But I couldn't do that. So I still had to show up. So share your story, right? And number 5, celebrate the small moments. Like yesterday, I told you how I was doing yesterday. Today, I told you how today was. I celebrated the fact that I didn't go off or stand there and have a tantrum when my blackberries fell out of the cart. I was just like, okay. And then in the process, I got blessed with another one, because I think I handled it well, and God just gave me more, right? And number 6, release the fear of judgment. Who cares what they say? They're going to talk about you, whether you do it or whether you don't. I think I was talking to somebody yesterday, and I was like, do it afraid. That's what they say, do it afraid. So when I started the YouTube channel and started doing all the things, started going live, trust me, I did it afraid. And the last one, create meaning through purpose. Now, what does that mean? What does that mean? Small actions can take the move in a great big way. Something simple as me celebrating the fact that I didn't go off when my blue blackberries fell out of my basket. I celebrated that. Then when they hung up on the phone at the pharmacy, I just celebrated the fact that I get to still be in the car, drive, and have a great day. So, small things in life. Don't worry about the big things. Pick up the pennies, y'all. Don't worry about the nickels, the dimes, the dollars. Pick up the pennies. You know how many pennies you find on the ground because people think pennies are worthless? Keep on going, keep on going. It's okay. Look at these are cute. Now I'm going to, I just had to use every color so that I can see what it looks like when they dry. There we go. This fun. This is fun color. This color is fun. Again, joy. Find joy in the things that make you feel better. Because there is joy in healing through the grief. There is joy in the bad times. Like when you've lost a loved one, I found joy after literally standing, greeting people. I think my grandmother gave me strength watching her sit in the room, and she greeted everybody that came in the room. And she sat there because that was her great-grandson. That was my grandmother, so that was her great-grandson. And she's buried 2 great-grandchildren. And so to see her sit there in such grace and say hello and speak to people gave me strength. So it's like, I can do this, right? Even after passing out, I got up off, whenever they got me up, I was outside the funeral in the back. I got up and continued, go around the front and still continue. But was it hard? Yes, it was. But I give myself, in today's time, we're 6 years, almost 6 years later. This October will be 6 years. God, it's just like, where's time going? Can't believe it. So for those that are new to grief, or those that are grieving not necessarily from the loss of a loved one, maybe you lost a job, maybe you lost a relationship. I don't know, whatever. Grief is anything that brings tears to your heart or to your eyes or makes your heart hurt, right? So whatever that is for you, I just want you to know that you'll be okay. It'll hurt for a moment and it'll hurt again. And some days it'll feel like it's going to knock the hell out of you. Some days you're going to feel like you just can't stand up and breathe. Feels like you got kicked in the chest by an old country mule. An old country mule, not these city mules. Got to be a country mule, because a country mule got a different kind of kick. There we go. Look at that. That is yummy. And this paint is so pretty. Okay. Now, this is usually where I would stop and go to FaceTime, but we don't have FaceTime. It's still just the way this is, but it's okay because we had to pivot. We're okay. We did good. We survived. And that's what I want to leave you. That's the word I want to leave you with today. We will survive. Everything that's going on in life today, if it doesn't make you smile, it will one day. Now, somebody would be like, what do you mean? So if I'm standing beside a casket, you're telling me I'm going to, I pick them up. I pick them up. I don't know what you pick up. You're telling me I'm going to smile? I've stood beside 2 caskets at one time. And yes, I'm telling you, you're going to smile. Because you're going to smile, because you're going to give yourself credit for doing whatever it was you cried about one day. You're going to smile because you made it through that day. That's why you're going to smile. So vulnerability, be vulnerable, be very vulnerable in whatever it is that you are showing up for yourself in life. And me, I just happen to heal with my art, and we get to have conversation as I slap paint on paper and show the beauty of it. And I get to say, Lord, thank you for yet another day of trusting me with whoever you have brought to this live, whoever you have brought to this replay. Whenever they get this actual live, they're going to get my heart, my transparency, and the authentic me. But aren't that, listen, ain't this cute? Yeah, I'm going to use my bad English. Ain't this cute? This cute. This is cute. I love it, love it, love it. All right, guys, I'm going to get off of here. I'm going to go take a little walks because it seems like the sun is out, so I can possibly, I'm not taking the dogs out because I don't want them to get in the, we have pools around here because it rains so hard. So I don't want them to go out and get out there in the water because they just got nice little baths. So I'll probably take them out one by one or two by two. Listen, I'll be like Noah. I'll take them out two by two. Yeah, that's what I'll do, two by two. And Lily and Lorna go out. Yeah, that's exactly what I'll do. Take them out two by two. I love it. See, you got to find joy in the sad times. And I'm just grateful that I get to share my journey with you guys. So remember, Mondays and Wednesdays, 3 p.m. Central Standard Time is where I am here over on this channel having conversations. The rest of March, we're talking again. We're going to finish up with vulnerability. Vulnerability in your life makes you show up very authentic. When you get to be the true you, you don't have to worry about being the fake you. And don't worry about people liking or not liking you. You're not here for them all the time. You have to show up for you first. All right, guys. Have a great day. Love you guys. And again, thank you for showing up.